For centuries, a single city stood as a dream and as a trial for the Muslim world.
It was not merely a fortified city. It was a prophecy, a promise spoken long ago, waiting for history to fulfill it. Constantinople, a magnificent city at the crossroads of East and West, guarded by walls believed to be impossible to breach. Many armies came, many leaders tried and failed, yet the city remained, standing as a challenge to time itself. Far from its towering walls, a child was raised with discipline and knowledge. The Quran shaped his days. Patience and focus shaped his character. As he grew older, the lessons changed. Not only words and verses, but maps, strategy, and the weight of the future. He was not raised to dream blindly. He was trained to understand that victory demands preparation. Scholars of the court reminded him of an ancient prophecy, of the finest leader and the finest army destined to open Constantinople. Before the map of that city, the young sultan's gaze grew firm, calm yet unwavering.
Silence. We move forward as planned. Destiny awaits.
Within the halls of Edirne Palace, his footsteps echoed in solitude. Great decisions are rarely born in noise, but in silence and conviction. Not everyone agreed. Some advisors remembered past failures. They saw walls. He saw possibility. Doubt surrounded him, but resolve did not leave him. The decision was made, not in haste, but with certainty forged over time. Preparation began without compromise. Fire burned, metal flowed. History was being shaped by human hands. Technology, discipline, and planning came together, all directed toward a single purpose.
The long journey finally began. The Ottoman army marched forward, carrying preparation, hope, and determination toward a single historic goal. From afar, Constantinople became aware of the approaching threat. The dust on the horizon was no longer a rumor. The siege was coming. The Theodosian walls stood tall, thick, layered, and unbroken for centuries, a fortress long believed to be impossible to breach. Before those walls, Sultan Mehmed II halted. His gaze was calm and measured, as if he were already reading the pages of history yet to be written. The Ottoman encampment stretched across the land. Thousands of tents, soldiers, and supplies moved in disciplined harmony. A great force had arrived. Inside the city, Emperor Constantine XI stood upon the walls. He knew this battle would decide the final fate of Byzantium. Two leaders, two beliefs, one city bound to shape history. Massive Ottoman cannons were positioned facing the walls. A new technology now stood ready. The first cannon blast shattered the air. Stone and dust erupted. The siege of Constantinople had begun. Something Constantinople had never faced before. Inside the city, panic spread. Soldiers rushed to their posts, civilians sought shelter, and prayers rose behind stone walls.
Day after day, the bombardment continued. Cannons struck relentlessly, yet the city still stood. Exhaustion began to show. Faces were worn and covered in dust, but discipline remained unbroken. Inside the command tent, Sultan Mehmed II led the Council of War. Maps were studied, strategies reconsidered. Every decision was made with careful calculation. At sea, the Ottoman fleet attempted to seal the city,
but the massive chain across the Golden Horn remained a formidable barrier. Some efforts failed, lives were lost, pressure mounted on both sides. Amid hardship, Sultan Mehmed II remained steady. He walked among his soldiers, restoring resolve when hope was tested. As night fell, weapons were lowered, prayers were raised. In silence, hearts turned back to God. Late into the night, Sultan Mehmed II studied the map once more. His eyes paused at the Golden Horn. A possibility began to form, a plan never imagined before. Bold, risky, yet capable of changing everything. Under the night sky of Constantinople, Sultan Mehmed II stood with unwavering certainty. The siege was not over, and history had not yet spoken its final word.
At the height of the stalemate, a decisive choice is made, not through the walls, not by the sea, but through a path no one had ever imagined, a choice that will forever change the course of the siege. Ottoman warships are lifted from the sea, not by miracle, but by strength, discipline, and careful calculation. Slowly but surely, the ships move across land, a sight never before recorded in the history of warfare. Meanwhile, Constantinople sleeps, unaware that the threat is now approaching from an entirely new direction. From above, Sultan Mehmed II watches in silence, young in age, yet leading with vision and absolute confidence. As dawn approaches, the impossible becomes reality. Ottoman ships now stand within the Golden Horn. As the sun rises, Byzantium is left in shock. The balance of war has shifted without a single arrow fired. Panic spreads throughout the city. What was once considered secure has now become Constantinople's weakest point. Constantinople is now trapped from two sides. Both land and sea fall under Ottoman pressure. The advantage they once held begins to fade. The balance of war has shifted. With their new position secured, Ottoman attacks resume. Each advance now feels closer to the end. Amid the thunder of war, prayers are raised once more, for every great victory begins with submission to God. Constantinople still stands, but for the first time, its fall feels near. Sultan Mehmed II stands, watching the city. Young in age, yet immense in vision and resolve, history moves toward its turning point. Every moment draws the world closer to transformation. The siege is not yet over, but the course of history has already changed forever. Constantinople now awaits its fate as a new era prepares to be born. Under the same sky, a young sultan steps toward eternal legacy. The great conquest is only a matter of time. That day finally arrived, the day Constantinople's fate would be decided. On land and at sea, the Ottoman forces prepare, all moving toward a single purpose. As dawn breaks, the final assault begins. There is no turning back. Walls once believed to be impenetrable for centuries finally collapse. Through the breach, Ottoman soldiers enter the city. History moves forward. In the narrow streets of Constantinople, two worlds collide for the final time. Byzantium fights on with what little strength remains, but fate has already moved ahead. When the Ottoman banner rises within the city, the course of history changes. In that moment, one truth becomes clear: Constantinople will never be the same. Gradually, the roar of battle fades. Swords are lowered, and dust settles. After the storm of war passes, silence falls over the city.
Constantinople now stands under Ottoman control, not in chaos, but in order. Sultan Mehmed II enters the city calmly, without triumph or excess. The people watch with fear and hope, facing a future they do not yet know. The Sultan's steps towards Hagia Sophia mark the turning of an era. This victory is not about destruction, but about trust and responsibility. Slowly, Constantinople breathes again. Peace replaces war. What happened that day was more than a conquest. It was a turning point in world history. At such a young age, Sultan Mehmed II carved his name into eternal history. Constantinople had fallen, and the world was changed forever.